You aren't tired. You systematically destroy yourself every night. You lie down in bed with the feeling that you have earned your rest. But instead of recovery, you trigger a process of slow depletion. In the morning, you open your eyes, and you've already lost. The body is heavy, thoughts are viscous. Any task seems more difficult than it really is. And you think the problem is motivation, in the discipline, in character. But the truth is more unpleasant. You just don't know how to sleep. Nobody taught you that. They explained formulas to you at school. They demand results at work. But no one has shown how the basic repair system of your brain works. You focus on the number of hours. You think that if you've been lying down long enough, it means you've recovered. This is a mistake, a huge mistake. You can spend the whole night in bed and wake up exhausted. And you can sleep less, but wake up with a clear head and energy. The difference is not in quantity. The difference is in quality. It's about what's going on inside your brain while you think you're just lying there. Your brain doesn't turn off during sleep. It runs complex processes. If you interfere with this process with the wrong habits, you block recovery. And then every next day becomes harder than the previous one. You start pulling yourself by force. Coffee becomes a crutch. Procrastination increases. And you gradually convince yourself that you are lazy. No, you're not lazy. You're exhausted. And you create this state yourself every night, without even noticing it. Until you understand one simple thing, nothing will change. Sleep is not a pause. It's an active process that either strengthens you or destroys you. And right now he's working against you. Now let's figure out what's really going on in your head when you fall asleep. Because without it, you'll be making the same mistake again. Sleeping is not just turning off. This is a sequence of phases, each of which performs its own task. At first, you fall into a light sleep. This is a transitional state. The body relaxes, the brain slows down, but there is almost no recovery. If you're constantly interrupted by notifications or lights, you're stuck here. It's like you're sleeping, but you're not actually recovering. Then there is a deep sleep. This is where the real work begins. The brain is cleared of accumulated garbage. The nervous system is being restored. The body repairs itself after exertion. If this phase is short or unstable, you wake up feeling like you've been run over. Even if you spend a lot of time in bed. After that comes the dreaming phase. This is where the brain processes information, strengthens memory, and forms skills. If you study, work, and develop, but you deprive yourself of this phase, you're zeroing out some of your efforts. Now the key point. All these phases work in cycles. And your task is not just to fall asleep. Your task is to go through these cycles without failures. But you break them yourself. Late light, phone in hand, chaotic sleep time. All this knocks down the internal clock. As a result, the brain does not understand when to start the necessary processes. And you're trapped again. You've been lying down for a long time, but you don't go through the necessary stages efficiently. That's why you're not recovering. That's why you don't have the energy. That's why you blame yourself. Until you start respecting these processes, sleep will not become your ally. He will remain a hidden enemy that pulls you back every day. Now look who exactly is ruining your sleep. Not abstract reasons, specific enemies that make you weaker every night. The first enemy is the phone. You take it supposedly for a couple of minutes. Check the messages, watch the video, switch over. But at that moment, you're starting a chain reaction. Bright light hits your eyes and tells your brain that it's daytime. The production of sleep hormone is inhibited. You're delaying falling asleep, but that's only half the problem. The content, tape, quick image changes. It excites the brain. He can't just switch off. You are physically lying in bed, but your nervous system continues to work at high speed. As a result, you either can't sleep for a long time, or you fall asleep, but the sleep turns out to be shallow. The second enemy is light, even a weak one. Lamps, screens, lanterns outside the window. Your brain doesn't distinguish between nuances. There is a simple logic to it. There is light, so the day is not over. This knocks down the internal clock. You fall asleep later. The sleep phases are shifting. The quality is falling. The third enemy is chaos. You go to bed at different times. Earlier today, later tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, even later. Your body has no stability. He can't adjust the rhythm. Every night is like a new experiment. And every time you pay for it, you're tired. And the most dangerous part of it all. These things seem harmless. You don't feel the moment of destruction. There is no sharp pain. There is no alarm. There is only a gradual decline in energy, concentration, and self-control. You don't lose the day in the morning. You play it in the evening when you pick up your phone and think it doesn't mean anything. Now we're building a system that will work for you. Not a theory, a specific ritual that puts the brain into recovery mode. It all starts an hour before bedtime. At this point, you decide to disconnect from the outside world. The phone is being removed. Not nearby, not on the bedside table. He physically disappears from the access area. Because it's not a question of willpower. The question here is to remove the trigger. Then the light. You're dimming the lights. The darker it gets, the faster the brain realizes that the day is over. It's a signal, simple but powerful. It's like you're telling your body that it's time to switch. The next step is to slow down. No aggressive content. There's no news, no overloads. It is better to read a calm text, a warm shower, and light stretching. Your task is to reduce the speed of your thoughts. Switch yourself from race mode to recovery. The same time is very important. Every day, when you lie down steadily, the body begins to prepare in advance. The dream is getting deeper. Falling asleep faster. You stop fighting with yourself in bed. And one last thing. A bed is just for sleeping. Not for the phone. Not for work. Not for endless lying. The brain must clearly connect this place with one action. Then it starts to run the necessary processes automatically. This ritual seems simple, even too simple, but that's exactly his strength. If you implement it without deviation, you will feel the difference in a few days. In a short time, your sleep will become a tool, not a problem. Now you have to understand the thing that almost everyone ignores. The morning shapes your next night. It's not evening, not the moment you lie down. It's about how you wake up and what you do in the first few minutes. If you wake up and immediately grab your phone, you're hitting your system again. Bright screen, information flow, stress. The brain abruptly breaks out of sleep, but does not go through a normal transition. This creates an internal imbalance that lasts all day and returns in the evening in the form of poor sleep. A proper morning begins with light. A living light, window, street, daylight. This is the main signal for your biological clock. It's like you're telling your body that the day has begun. In response, it starts the correct processes. Increased alertness. The hormonal background is leveled. And most importantly, you program the time when you will want to sleep in the evening. Further movement, light activity. Even a simple warm-up already gives a signal to the body to turn on. Blood circulation is accelerated. The brain wakes up naturally, without violence. And one more thing that everyone underestimates. Stable lifting time. Even if you went to bed later. Yes, it's going to be hard. But that's what keeps the rhythm going. After a short time, the body itself will begin to demand sleep at the right moment. If the morning is chaotic, the evening will be the same. If the morning is built, the night begins to adjust to it. It's a vicious circle. The only question is whether he's working against you or for you. Now put it all together. Because if you heard it as a set of tips, you won't change anything. Sleep is not a separate habit. This is the foundation of your whole life. You can try to put pressure on yourself during the day. Drink coffee. Set goals. Forcing yourself to work. But if you destroy the recovery at night, you start from a negative position every day. And no motivation can block it. Look at it honestly. When you don't sleep well, you become a different person. You get annoyed faster. You think slower. It's easier to give up. It's harder for you to control your emotions. You're making weak decisions. And the most dangerous thing is that you start to consider it the norm. But this is not the norm. This is the result of your actions at night. Sleep is not a passive state. This is the moment when you either build yourself up or destroy yourself. Every night you choose how you wake up tomorrow. Strong or broken, collected or distracted, enabled or empty. And the most important thing, you don't need a perfect body, perfect discipline, or a new life to start changing that. You only need one solution. Remove the things that ruin your sleep and stop betraying yourself every night. Because that's where everything is decided. Not in the morning, not in motivational videos, and at that moment, when you lie down and choose what will happen to you tomorrow. If you've figured that out, you already have an advantage. It remains to make sure that this becomes your action, and not just another piece of information.